The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
We have Mike from Chicago on the line, and he has a question about digestion.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
First of all, I just wanted to say that I love the show. I think it's great programming, and I'm very much of a like mind when it comes to, taking control of your own health and certainly doing your own research.
Oh, that's so great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now your hosts, Nico De Haan and Paige Clarke.
Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle. I'm Nico De Haan. This is Paige Clarke.
Hello,
Happy
everybody.
Friday, everybody. Isn't this great? Fridays are the best day of the week.
They are.
Next to Saturdays. I like Saturdays, too.
And we have a brand new Health Signals newsletter. Hope you guys are subscribing. I'm just telling you, this is just great stuff.
Yeah, it's $10 a month. You get 2 issues a month on the first and third Friday of every month. And this being the third Friday, we have a brand new issue. And we'll just go over it a little bit to let the folks know what's in here and what they're missing if you're not signed up for it. First article is really on sunshine, how it can benefit and prolong your life. And if you just step out in the sun, you can feel the immediate benefits. And it really goes into details about it.
And, this kind of made me think a little bit about something Nico and I were talking about before the show. And I don't mean to seem negative, and I hope you guys will understand what I'm saying, but it's just getting more and more where whenever they tell you something is bad for you, you got to kind of look. And I want to say it's almost like a wayward kid. Just look for the opposite. And I don't know. I'm just feeling that way today because I told you about some things.
Well, if you're looking at it from a mainstream kind of point of view, the sun is bad, cover up, and
slather on toxic chemicals, and where you can't, your skin can't breathe.
All you have to do is cover yourself in clothing, really, and
it's
you can block a lot.
Sense. Yeah. Health and nutrition is common sense.
Plus, we lived on the planet for years and years. It's not much hotter today than it ever was. I mean,
it's just
we've had cold spells.
Obviously, if you're getting out in the sun and you lay there, baking under the sun for an hour, 2 hours, you're going to burn, and that's just not smart.
No, well, that's just common sense.
So.
Second thing is a new study links GMO foods to leukemia. We've done a lot of things on GMO foods, and this is just a little bit more evidence piling up. And, Paige, one of the things I notice in most of these studies, none of them are done here in the United States. Yeah. Is that because we have somebody in our government that probably is just
doesn't want this information out? So we really need to know, one of the first things we do is we just say no to GMO. Simple, common sense. Stay away from the genetically modified foods, and that means most of the things in your grocery store.
Yeah, funny how that is. That's a sad situation.
And, we're also talking, not in this article touches on, I think it was in one of our newsletters, or maybe it was just an article that we talked about on the show, Roundup, folks. I think we're going to need to do this. We're going to make a note to do this, to come up with a healthy weed killer. Roundup has been...
Well, to get some exercise, just go on your knees and get the weeds out.
Exactly, but I think there are actually some natural... things.
There's certainly in gardening books there are plants that you plant together so the weeds don't encroach.
Right.
So you have good, healthy things, and you're not going to have the weeds probably growing there as much. You might still have to use, things.
Like, what kills
vinegar is Claw says.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
Chat room's great because the taggers and taggers out there will
they
pull
know
the
what
information
to do.
right. Yeah. So vinegar is one thing.
Well, chinch bugs, you put dish soap and you spray it on the yard. I'm just telling you, there's simple things we can do, but just don't support Monsanto and their awful product Roundup. It's designed to kill our food supply,
and
our
it's
natural
so tempting
food supply.
too, because it's so easy to get rid of, like the cracks in the sidewalk.
Oh, I saw my yard guy. Yeah. I forbid him to use it, and I saw one of his employees come out with it, and I just ran out there, but do not even put that. And I tried to explain to him, it's not just for me. I said, I'm worried about you. You don't need to be exposed to this chemical. Yeah. They're saying it is the most dangerous chemical on the face of the planet, responsible for many very serious diseases. I think I read a quote from it the other week. But
well, it disrupts hormones. It does so many things, too.
Yeah, exactly.
The third thing I have here in page 4 is called The End of Old Age, and this just goes into a whole section of...
natural rejuvenation, which is kind of the hallmark of what I do in my office.
Antioxidants, talks about antioxidants, and the thing that is good today, because we've got a lot of scientists out there looking at things like this, and You know, some of the things work, some of them don't, and some of the things get bad press, and then everybody jumps on the bandwagon going the other way saying, no, don't use it, when a lot of times these things are used in combination with the right stuff works very well.
Exactly.
And that's what this whole article is about.
Yeah, get the newsletter and read about this. This is the main compound discussed in this, which originally is derived from meat, so
yes.
lets you kind of know it's so important for aging and preventing aging. There was some recent bad press just recently.
At carnosine.
This is L-carnosine.
L-carnosine.
L-carnosine, right. And there was recently bad press that was a very poorly designed study with 6 subjects. So, you know, if you read it, you know, we've researched the other side. This is the point of view that I think is the truth. So it's a great article, 5 pages.
And, you know, this compound does come from meat, and it just goes to show you how important, again, the animal protein is.
Right.
But another thing I got from this article page, which was really interesting to me, is when they discuss the compounds mixing together and how they use these together. Well, that's the correct balance because that's how it's found in the animal itself. So it really goes back to show you that if we're eating really great animals that are wild, then we're going to get these compounds in the exact proportion that we need because, of course, through evolutionary terms, that's how we grew up and that's how we evolved. So it makes sense to me. It's a long article. A lot of times I don't like to put more than 1 or 2 pages in from one thing. It seems these days everybody has a short attention span. They don't want it to read too much. You know,
Well, we thought that one was very
it's
powerful.
really important if you really want to get to the gist of saying, okay, what am I going to use to help me not age so much? Because if you're, you know, where I am at, 68 years old, this is all of a sudden saying, hey, wait a minute, I better look at this stuff. So, you know, that's why I have a passion for it.
I love it.
Okay, so then it goes into, this is kind of disturbing for me because vaccinations, I don't get too many of them, but now they're having a registry system for vaccinations that's going to track this. A lot of it has to do with Obamacare, but a lot of it has to do with the drug companies wanting to know who is getting what and what you're getting and are you getting it and why aren't you getting it and things like that. And there's really required data that's now going into this countrywide system that everybody's going to be in. Also disturbing because it ties into some of the other things like the mental illness thing with the guns and trying to track you that way also. So, you know, they're going to know exactly what's going on in your body. If they can track you through food, maybe that's the next step. But it's disturbing to me that it happens.
And a lot of people just go, oh, this can't be true, but you have to start looking at this information and understanding what the plans are.
Yeah. Well, this is definitely in the works right now. And, you know, they have actually one of the links in here. I hope I kept it in here. Shows you some of the formats in there. Anyway, there's links in there so you can dig a little bit deeper.
I like this next one. Has drug-driven medicine become a form of human sacrifice?
Yeah, and this goes into really ethical things of what's happening with medicine today and how we're treated. By the way, I should mention I'm not anti-medicine.
Big experiment. Right. No, I think that's really important.
If you notice my hand, I had surgery this week, and one of the great things that we have available in our country here, in the United States of America, is wonderful, wonderful surgeons. And if you do have a problem, and I had a hyperextended thumb, and what actually happened was the tendon actually severed midway.
And he had to go back in and reattach?
Yeah, he had to go and attach it. He put a pin alongside it, I believe, and keep me immobile for a while. Yeah. And I go see him next week to take off the bandages and then probably put me in his spot.
And I think that's good that you said that because I'm the same way. I believe in natural health and hygiene and taking responsibility ourselves for keeping ourselves healthy. But when things do get out of line and we need to have a surgeon, that's great. We need to use the medical profession as part of our team.
Yeah.
And even some pharmaceutical drugs can be used, you know, like a painkiller, you know, that you might need. But again, it's like anything else. We don't want to stay as a static dose.
Well, it's one of the things they gave me was a painkiller, and what they gave me a prescription for oxycodone.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty powerful stuff. And I did need it the first day.
Right.
But they gave me 40 pills.
Yeah.
That's a lot of oxycodone. I mean, talk about you're liable for abuse. I mean, if you don't need these now, there's a real avenue to go sell these or give them to somebody else.
Florida, we're kind of famous for that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So
having...
40 pills, even though you take 2 at a time in the beginning. I think I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doses altogether. And
but you're off
this
it now.
morning I didn't eat.
Okay, yeah. So you're doing good.
Yeah, so I'm doing great.
And really probably taking some turmeric and some
anti-inflammatories
will really help.
Yeah, and I heal fast, so I'm pretty sick. Anyway, great article. It's about medicine today in the United States and how natural medicine was the main go-to for most of our existence. And now, the last 100 years or so, of course, it's gotten more and more and more it seems
synthetically derived, pharmaceutical driven.
Not only pharmaceutical driven, that's not so much, it's more commercialized. So now we have companies advertising these things. Now it becomes profit-based driven, more disturbing for me. I'm not against profits, but it shouldn't be primary in our health. So.
Yeah, and then they're making it much more difficult, and we don't need to go there, but there's a lot of talk this week about what's going on in the EU. They've just kind of caved to Big Pharma as Big Pharma is kind of moving to Europe, and based on their kind of financial affairs, they're kind of really caving to things and really putting in a lot of regulations into traditional normal medicine. In other words, herbal formulas are going to be very hard to get. And I know people in Europe have a hard time getting even some normal nutrition
why it's really
that we
disturbing
take for
to me, because one of the most liberal countries was my home country of the Netherlands always, and it seemed like the first ones caving into a lot of this stuff. Not only the medicine part of it, but also intrusion in your home, census taking, getting people to abide by all these stupid little rules, how many people can live in your house, and all these different things that shouldn't be done by a higher authority, maybe your community, but not certainly the United States government or a Dutch government or anything like that. So.
And then we have a nice article.
Becky says profit in concert with government is fascism. Certainly is, and that's exactly what's going on. Now that corporations are people, sort of, the corporations are really in bed with the campaign as well as the person in power, all the people in power, and this whole bandwagon going down the road while the rest of us are kind of onlooking, but we're the slaves.
Yeah.
It's disturbing, very disturbing.
It is disturbing.
Okay, let's move on. This is really cool because copper has been known for many, many years to have purity properties, infection.
Copper pots?
Copper pots, exactly. So this is a whole thing on infection research.
The silver spoon. The affluent people often ate off of real sterling silverware.
Yeah. You wonder why real primitive people were in touch with our elements such as copper, such as silver. Such as gold, because they do have these healing properties and a lot more. I think we're getting into this segment here, but we'll continue this after the break. I've got a couple more things I wanted to mention, and Nico and Paige will be right back. Remember, folks, $10 a month will get you this newsletter, and you get it twice a month, and it's packed full of things. It'll keep you busy all month, believe me.
Exactly. The links to the...
877-927-6664 is the phone number, so give us a call. We'll be right back.
You've heard Nico De Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. Funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.
Who says you can't take it with you? TFNN says you can. With your mobile device and TFNN's live radio streams, TFNN has put it all in the palm of your hands. No special apps to download. No subscription fees for live radio or Tiger TV streams. We say you can.
Now let's go over to the dollar, because the dollar is going to be the generator. It is the generator of basically higher dollar, lower market. And what the dollar has done, and this whole uptrend, folks, has just gone sideways. The way it works, folks, is this.
We say you can. The Tiger Financial News Network. Smart investors and professional traders know you can. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Nico and Paige here on Living a Primal Lifestyle. And Tom's been waiting for quite a while from Tampa, so let's put him on right now. Tom, how's it going?
Hey, good, Nico. How you doing?
Doing great, man. Thanks for calling.
Good. Hey, Nico, Paige, good morning to you guys. Good afternoon, actually, now. My doctors had me on lovastatin and lisinopril. Now, I took myself off the lovastatin back about, 4 months ago. I went to Primal and cut out the soda, cut out the red wine, cut out the grains, drop, some weight, just gradually it comes off. And, blood pressure, it's back down. I think at one time it got up to 165, which alarmed me.
Wow.
It's all the way down to like it's like 100 over 70. Sometimes it's 105 over 75. And I'm like, telling my doctor, so why have you still got me on lisinopril if we're down that low?
Good question.
Good question.
And I heard Paige mention last week about that olive leaf extract. And,
you paid good attention.
Oh, yeah, I take notes when you guys, I take notes from all those TFNN people. They're the best, man.
Awesome.
Right.
And anyways, I'm just like, so what I've been doing is taking the 20 milligram tablet that he has me on. I've been cutting it in half.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just, about another 2 weeks, I'm just going to go off of it. I'm monitoring my blood pressure on a regular basis.
Yeah, just take it every morning. That's what my wife does. They had her on blood pressure medicine for quite a few years. And with this new doctor, she said, no, let's get off of it. And she was the same as you, 106 over 67. Sometimes she goes up in the afternoon to 120. She's doing fabulous.
She did go off of it, Nico?
Pardon me?
She did go off.
Yeah, she's been off. Yeah.
Okay.
And no change.
So remember that first of all, we would never tell you. Only your doctor can tell you when it's appropriate to go. So what the best thing to do is, like we always do, and like I tell my clients, is get your own little diary, track your blood pressure, and you can do it once or twice a day. And what we see is that many times you've made a major change in your diet and you see what's happening. But I really like olive leaf extract for people that need blood pressure support. And there's a lot of evidence-based research. If you Google it, you might can ease into some of that to help you, if you think that you continue to need it.
And just any kind of moderate exercise can even do it.
Exactly.
I do an hour a day of walking, just a gradual walk, like you've mentioned, Nico.
The exercise and and some deep breathing, magnesium, and we're going to follow up with a question that Alan has regarding that as well. But magnesium is fabulous. Magnesium is fabulous for everything. It's probably it's a cofactor in so many reactions we have in our body. So my support items for high blood pressure are olive leaf extract, exercise, diet change, magnesium, and then of course we don't eat any bad salts because we're not eating processed foods. And the healthy salt, the Himalayan salt, the Celtic salts can actually really help blood pressure because you're getting the minerals you need. And sometimes we get high blood pressure because we're demineralized.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I think you had mentioned, Paige, I heard you say, I don't know, it might have been a month or two ago, that as long as we're not over 220 on that cholesterol, 220, that 185 to 220 range is still a pretty healthy cholesterol level, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm going to tell you that it's different for everyone. I'm going to let you know that my cholesterol is often higher than that. There are actually people who said, doctors in the past, before the cholesterol drug became the number one drug category, they wanted women that are pregnant and stuff to have cholesterol 225, 250 because there's a lot of hormone action that happens in that range. I want you to do your own research on that. It's really more important to find out the particle size and get more detailed information.
Get the particle test.
And look at numbers and to work with someone to review your numbers from a functional perspective. We're looking more at HDL and total cholesterol, triglycerides to HDL. Those are the markers we want to see. The particle size, do we have small dense, which is more dangerous, or the fluffy? Just for fun, if you want to see something, Dr. Oz had Stephen Sinatra and Johnny Bowden. They have a new book out called The Cholesterol Myth. You might want to get that book on Amazon. The Cholesterol Myth. Two, world famous cardiologists. Cholesterol is not the bad guy, it's the innocent bystander. And my argument for anyone who's worried about cholesterol is get some whole food vitamin C, because that's really the culprit. Sugar, vitamin C deficiency, cholesterol just goes there to try and save your life.
Yep. And who is that author on that book?
That would be Stephen Sinatra, Dr. Stephen Sinatra, and Johnny Bowden. The Cholesterol Myth.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. You can get it on your Kindle or your iBooks. Or anything.
And you can watch them talking if you Google Dr. Oz and Stephen Sinatra.
Yeah, in fact, you Google either of those guys, and they've got some podcasts out there and some videos that talk specifically about the book, and also the Dr. Oz things out there. I've seen it a couple times.
Be more concerned about your triglycerides. And, when we cut out drinking, you mentioned cutting out the red wine. A little red wine with a meal is okay. But it sounds like you're on the right track.
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much for calling, Tom. Appreciate it.
And Alan, we'll be back with you after the break.
Yeah.
We've got some questions
Thanks,
coming.
Nico. Thanks, Paige.
Okay, take
thanks
care
for
now.
calling.
Okay, folks, the number here is 877-927-6648. Alan's coming up right after the break. Don't forget the newsletter, 2 issues a month for only $10 a month. Bargain price, and lots more coming up. We'll be right back.
TFNN is excited to launch our brand new software charting program, The Art of the Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind software, Art of the Charts allows you to scan for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, butterflies, ABCs, and much more. Art of the Charts is designed to help you when scouring the market for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, and even months searching to find. As part of our introductory pricing, we're offering licenses available at only $59 per month. We're so confident that you'll love this new outstanding piece of charting software that we'll even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Lock in your low price today by ordering your copy at TFNN.com. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil's subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to try out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page of TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.
Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives you Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. With Market Insights, nothing is left to guessing. With the market at record levels, volatility is here, and now is a perfect time to take advantage of a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights. As recently as March 26th, Tom advised his subscribers to liquidate their 4 short-term equity holdings, closing out all 4 positions for a combined 15.9% profit. And on April 1st, Tom advised his clients to sell their longer-term position in AIG warrants, locking in more than a 40% profit in just that one trade. If you'd like to see the kind of newsletter Tom O'Brien sends out to his subscribers each morning, then sign up for your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by BackTech Environmental. For more information, just click the BackTech banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Nico and Paige here, and we have a caller on the line. Thanks for waiting, Alan. Appreciate you hanging on. Still there?
No.
He's gone. Sorry, Alan.
I hope you can call us back.
Yeah,
I'm sorry about that.
No, you had to wait quite a while. I understand completely.
So we'll wait and see if he gives us a buzz back.
Yeah, he was going to talk about magnesium, which
because I want to talk about magnesium. I brought some magnesium out here to show you.
You carry the best too.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I'm a practitioner with Premier Research Labs, and it's the excipient-free company. And I'm very particular about supplements that I recommend, and it's really a great one. But we'll give it a few minutes because I have a lot of stuff I'd like to talk about magnesium.
Okay.
But I'm going to wait to see if he calls us back.
Okay.
So let's hold on that subject. And
just finishing up with the newsletter, I had a little article about foods that ease muscle soreness and helps you recover quickly. And also some nice smoothie recipes,
but more geared around recovery. So.
Yeah, kind of recovery ones. There's one of them in here that's pumpkin
pie smoothie.
The only thing is it does have tofu, and I'd be very careful with tofu.
Tofu is not a fermented soy, so it's not good. Soy is not a toy.
There's some fermented ones.
Alan's back on the line. Hey, Alan,
excellent.
are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hi, Alan. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that was weird. I thought I was maybe destined not to talk to you.
Oh, so you have a question about magnesium?
I do, and it's great to talk to you guys. I usually get to watch the archives because I'm not around live, so this is a treat today for all the good information you give out.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We enjoy you calling.
Yeah, I watched the archive last week on the magnesium spray. That's one question I had. Is there a specific strength or type that you recommend?
Yes. And, you know, we are going to do a lot more talking about magnesium, and but I really think transdermal magnesium is the very best way to build up our magnesium stores, whether it be through a spray, magnesium chloride spray, or we mentioned the Epsom salt baths is another great way. We are starving for magnesium. That is the mineral that is so important to so many reactions in our body.
So why are we deficient in it? Why aren't we not getting this mineral that normally we would get?
You know, all of our soil is deplete, and our foods are deplete. And everyone, if you eat anything that's white, then we're deficient. You know, these white refined products. And, you know, many of us aren't eating those things now, but we had a lifetime of doing that. I want to give everyone a resource because I like to share, you know, with you guys. I want to share with you some of my mentors. And if I mentioned it last week, jot this down. Dr. Sircus, S-I-R-C-U-S. He is my go-to guy about magnesium. He's my go-to guy about a lot of things. Iodine. He is a prolific writer. You can go to his site and he'll just give you'll have everything you need to know. I'm very excited, and then I'm hoping that I'm going to actually get to work with him in a special group. But, you know, I just kind of looked at something. You know, we thirst for magnesium-rich water, and he's working on a process of bringing, you know, we all have heard about baking soda or sodium bicarbonate and the power of that for all kinds of alkalizing. He's bringing something together, magnesium water, to make it more available to people. So hang on to your seats, guys.
Interesting.
Yeah, but so you asked me, is there a certain brand? Ancient Minerals. You might even get a good link. I haven't, you know, we're going to have all these resources so you guys can go to our site. We're working on that. But go to his site, click on the link to Ancient Minerals, order them through him. You know, those are the best.
Oh, that made me smile. I just ordered some yesterday.
Oh, good. So you made a good choice. And you know, treat yourself to to an Epsom salt bath every once in a while. Just remember, any signs of overdose on magnesium might be loose bowels, but I mean, you know what? That's okay. That corrects. If you're going to take magnesium orally, I prefer magnesium glycinate. It's a form that doesn't tend to be sensitive to the bowels, but I don't want everyone to get this idea that they're going to have problems. Trust me, you're deficient, we're deficient, I'm deficient. And magnesium really helps with normalizing. It is the first thing that you get practically when you walk in the door to an emergency room. Another thing, magnesium deficiency is often misdiagnosed because it does not show up in blood tests. Welcome to the world, guys. Most things don't show up in the blood tests. Our bodies are really good at
disguising.
Yeah. Only 1% of the body's magnesium is stored in the blood. And so, you know, we're going to be... Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're taking that action and working on your magnesium. A lot of things correct themselves, and I think you'll find Dr. Sircus, S-I-R-C-U-S.
I'll check that out.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for calling, Alan.
I had one more question, Nico.
Go right ahead.
Real quick. If you can sometime, could you have Nora back on as a guest?
Yeah, you know, the funny you should mention it. I contacted her last month. Now, she's involved in the next couple of months for something, but I'm going to have her back on sometime this summer. I just haven't got a date together yet.
Cool. If you could ask her current stand on supplementing, because I have her book and I read a lot about what she thinks, but I think it evolves a bit, so it'll be interesting to know.
You can also look her up on YouTube, and she's just lately she's been doing quite a bit of talking. And they're kind of made in sections, a lot of these YouTube clips, so you can get 10 or 15 minutes of her on a specific subject. But I'd look her up. She's a wealth of information, and she comes from a really nice end of it, because she's really not only talking about evolutionary-wise, but also how the brain works in concert with the stuff that we're talking about.
That'd be great
nutrition.
to have her.
Yeah.
All right. Well, great to talk to you guys.
Okay.
Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You know, at the last couple of pages of my newsletter here, we have Primal vendors and products. Some of the things that I've used. This is just the beginning thing. Some reading materials. And then the last page is just plain information where you can go, like the Weston Price site, the
information sources.
Yeah, paleo sites, all different information where I get a lot of my information, just so you can dig a little deeper and, find the stuff out for yourself, because we have to really monitor our own health, and the more information from different sources, the more you're going to be confident that you're going to be making the right decisions on this. So that's pretty much the newsletter.
It's such a great newsletter, and I hope you all are taking advantage of it, because one of the things is when we kind of hit the highlights, and of course you can print it out, but there's so many helpful links with great videos, and I really appreciate the time you take to put those links in for everybody.
And thank you. And then I got another email from Rocco, and they talked about
the root canal, the alternative to root canal that we have.
I've never had that done, and this was an article that has a new type of procedure that this doctor used, and she had trouble. I don't know is Rocco a male or female? We haven't really figured that out, have we?
I hope if he or she is listening.
It doesn't really matter.
Rocco Beatrice.
Yeah.
So in any case, the comments made were that they had kind of vetted out the site and had actually checked Quack Watch. First of all, I think Quack Watch is a quack. Okay, quackwatch.org is Stephen Barrett, and he is is that word shell or shield?
Shill.
He's a shill. He's a shill for
Corporate
big
shill.
pharma and mainstream approaches. So anything that's not mainstream, he's pretty much on the payroll to write something. Now, that being said, I'm not quite sure about this procedure
itself. I've never experienced it.
However, I do know, going back to Dr. Weston Price, that dentists are the only surgeons that leave dead tissue in the body.
That's when they do a root canal.
Exactly,
Yeah.
a root canal.
Because they take out the nerve, but they leave the rest of the tissue.
They leave the dead tissue there, and so they've stopped the nerve. So
you're just not receiving the pain.
Right. So, but your dead tissue is still there, and then of course they tell you that they sterilize the tubules. Folks, you have the equivalent of a trip around the world of tiny tubules, and there's been evidence that they no matter what they do become infected, and the bacteria do pleomorphic bacteria. They change to survive in that anaerobic non-oxygen environment, and Dr. Weston Price proved this. Didn't he just do everything? He proved that a very sick person, if they remove their infected root canal teeth, and that tooth is then implanted in a rabbit, that rabbit will develop the same disease that person has. And then I'm drawing a blank here on the spot of the gentleman who wrote the book. Maybe you can look it up. Root Canal Cover-Up is a famous book. He was the doctor, the endodontist that actually created the root canal procedure. And after he spent a lifetime of teaching doctors, when he realized it begins with an M, I think is his last name, when he realized the danger that root canals present to all of us. Yep, that's him. George, the Root Canal Cover-Up is George E. Menig. He spent the rest of his life trying to persuade people not to get a root canal. If you have a health challenge, a serious, life-threatening health challenge, the most important thing you can do is get your root canal teeth removed. Yeah. Many times your body, because your immune system is under distress trying to deal with that little low-grade infection. You guys have heard me talk about stealth infections. Yeah. Well, that's a stealth infection.
And if you want to read the information yourself, if you go to Root Canal Cover-Up and just Google that, you'll not only get the Dr. Price, Weston Price stuff, but also
George Menig,
Mercola stuff, and some videos on Dr. Mercola interviewing Mingle.
So just in recapping, we're just, when we learn about something, this is an interesting procedure that's being purported. Now, when I talk with people that have root canals, I refer them to a biological, holistic dentist, and even Mercola and stuff have listings on their website of people that you can go that use a proper procedure for removing a root canal tooth. And if, either consider getting a bridge where that root canal tooth was, or looking at the implants. And really it's the zirconium implants. And they are just in comparison's sakes, there are just really handfuls of dentists that really know how to properly remove a root canal tooth.
And I've read several things on different laser procedures, too.
Right.
To get that tissue out of there, too.
So the goal is not to get a root canal if you don't have to have one. But unfortunately, some of us end up with a root canal because our teeth were previously drilled and filled with amalgam fillings, which cause fractures in the teeth over time.
Yeah.
And then we end up with damaged nerve. But I really thought that website was very interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting, and of course, if I have a root canal, I'd certainly do research like that and look at that. Whether I would go with that procedure or not, I don't know.
And
of course, they're not near me, so
I'm going to check out more about that.
Yeah.
But what you need to do is understand you've got to start getting away from conventional dentists if they're not, if you've got a dentist that's talking about fluoride in the water, fluoride treatments on the teeth, amalgam fillings are okay, and root canals are okay. I'm just saying we need to start expecting them to, check into some of this other research.
I think it's interesting that in dentistry school, very easy to say for me, they don't have much education on what's the price at all.
They don't. Well, it's the biggest disgrace, but it's exactly why. They don't learn about Weston Price because he challenges what their whole thing is about. It's about drilling teeth. It's about how many surfaces can they restore, as they call it.
Yeah.
We need to do a four-sided restoration, which, because it's like billing. I just, trust me, I love dentists. Some of them, and I think most of them are careful. But our teeth are organs, folks. They're part of our body. They're not just some hard rock thing you chew with.
I found it interesting. Last time I got my teeth cleaned, the gal, I asked her about oil pulling because she
didn't even know.
She had no clue. She thought it was very interesting.
I met an endodontist the other night. I was out at a restaurant and we were at this kind of birthday party, and I met an endodontist. And I started talking to her about it, and then it was like she was like, "What's that?" And then someone walked up to her and asked her a question. She didn't come back to me and go, "Oh, tell me more about what you were saying." I was kind of like, "Don't you want to hear about it?"
Yeah, they're stuck in their own world.
Yeah.
I guess.
So
as we all are.
Just what I'm saying is understand, there's great dentists out there, but start to understand that many of them have been trained a certain way and they're not embracing some of the holistic approaches, and you need to do that and then decide what's best for you.
Yeah. It's really, it's getting so important now for us as we go into this new Obamacare. Our whole healthcare system is changing.
Well, we don't have a healthcare system in this country.
We have a
sick care system, so you have to create your own healthcare.
That's the whole point. And so now we have to get the information ourselves. Even, when I went for the surgery, it's really my responsibility to know where I'm going, know how to get home. I'm in and out of there in a couple hours, and they give me all the information, and I have to be responsible to do what they say.
And you have to be responsible enough to say, hey, I don't need any more of that. That was just a temporary need for that painkiller, and you can take some other herbal painkillers. If you have a little bit of achiness, you can take some anti-inflammatories.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I went through this. It was mainly the movement of getting, trying to shave or brushing your teeth. Those were the most. That's the most awkward thing, is trying to brush your teeth with a thumb that just is not working.
You're
very tough.
You're right-handed.
Yeah, right-handed, so it makes it worse, and I can't even shave this way.
Did you know I'm left-handed?
Yeah.
But I do all sports right-handed.
Huh. Cool enough.
Yeah, I'm kind of ambidextrous.
Yes, you are. Okay, folks, we'll be back in a couple minutes. The number here is 877-927-6648, and Paige and Nico will be right back.
Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, has helped subscribers for over 10 years navigate the high-risk world of exploring and producing gold companies. And now's a great time to sign up for a free month-long trial to see the kind of insight that Tom delivers for his subscribers on a weekly basis. Every Monday, Tom O'Brien issues a quick update on the metal market, giving you his take on the HUI, XAU, GLD, dollar, bonds, and much more. Tom follows Monday's update with a full gold report, which is delivered to subscribers Tuesday afternoon with detailed coverage of 24 separate gold or metal stocks, as well as another 10 to 15 stocks that he lets you know are on his potential watch list. Get your month-long free trial to the Gold Report today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Don't spend another year navigating the metal markets on your own. Act early in 2013 and make the most of your gold and metal market investments.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rose, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Nico here and Paige here, and we're on Living the Primal Lifestyle. And we were talking about...
we're talking about root canals and dental. So since we're kind of on a roll, and as I mentioned, I feel that the conventional dental industry is kind of responsible for a lot of the sickness that we see, you know, between the root canals, the cavities, the fluoridation. Mm-hmm. So I sent you this yesterday, and many of you know from listening to the show that, you know, I'm very sad to announce that Pinellas County, the county that we live in, is the laughingstock of the informed world because we, you know, decided, we voted fluoride out, and then in March, we had some new commissioners came in with their their pockets really padded heavy, and they came in and added it back in. So we're the laughingstock because we added this dangerous toxin to our water. So a press release that came out, industrial-grade fluoridation chemicals cost society billions in arsenic-induced cancer. Now, it's a little tongue-in-cheek here with the way this is written because, you know, there's still so many people that think that when they're fluoridating the water that they're adding pharmaceutical-grade fluoride to the water. That is not the case, folks. Product. It is a waste product from industry. So this article talks about, hey, we could be saving a lot in cancer prevention if we just would substitute the industrial fluoride that we're adding with pharmaceutical. You know, the reality is we don't think fluoride should be in the water at all. We know that it's never been proven and it's causing a lot of health and ill effect. But just a couple points. Industrial-grade fluoride chemicals added to U.S. public water supplies contains arsenic that the EPA classifies as a human carcinogen. Switching to low arsenic pharmaceutical-grade fluoride would save society $1 to $14 billion annually, according to research published in Environmental Science and Policy. Although never studied for safety or efficacy, hydrofluorosilicic acid is added to public water supplies as a purported cavity preventative. The industry-funded group that regulates water additives, NSF International, allows several toxins in HFSA, which is the hydrofluorosilicic acid, including arsenic. So, you know, guys, I don't know what your community is, but start to get involved with getting, we're like if you look at the map of fluoridation, other countries just do not allow it. We allow it. It's a terrible health challenge. This
makes no sense. It really just makes no sense. It's kind of like the energy thing with nuclear energy.
The study found that hydrofluorosilicic acid raises the arsenic level of finished or tap water by anywhere from 0.078 to 0.43 parts per billion. That is considered toxic by the EPA. So we got these governmental groups that don't, we got all these doctors and dentists and people, kind of supported by industry to say, that it's safe. And then we've got our EPA that says it isn't. And, Paul Conant, head of Fluoride Action Network, says this study provides additional scientific evidence that fluoridation should be stopped as the purported benefits no longer outweigh the risk, as if they ever did.
It's kind of like the paints used to have lead in it, and they thought lead was a great base for paint, which it was.
And our doctors smoked Camel and said, that's the cigarette I smoke. And
it's all kind of tied together. And like I said, the nuclear energy thing is, they call it clean energy.
And you guys...
But the waste product is always there.
Exactly.
So, it's just not...
So, the Fluoride Action Network is an organization that's really working hard all over the globe, really, but really in the United States, trying to get communities. And many communities are taking this toxin out of their water. We added it back in. So pay attention, guys. This is important stuff.
You need to fight for your rights, for sure. Well, that's pretty much it.
Paige,
now you're going to be out of the country for a couple of weeks.
I am. So I'll miss next Friday, but I'll be back after that.
Good. Well, I'm going to prepare an extra special show in your absence.
Okay.
Yeah.
You hold down the fort for me.
Yeah, you better. I will.
Okay, everyone. We'll see you. We'll see you next time.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.